Hey, everybody. I feel like I haven't been on a relationship Wednesday in like forever, but we're here tonight. I'm gonna bring Chef Kev in the building. We're gonna do a little quick one in and out. I'm super tired. Hold on one second. Hey, hey,
Hey, what's up?
what's
How you
going
doing?
on? Good.
Not much.
I hear a lot of background noise for you. It just stopped. It just stopped. Okay, so that's good. So listen, we haven't. I feel like we haven't been on Relationship Wednesdays in weeks. I don't know how long it's been, but hey, here we are. Welcome into the building, and we're going to start off with a quick topic. And our topic is like, how do you deal with rejection? How do you deal with when you love someone a certain way and they're not loving you back? And it's a good topic because if you know, in the hot topics and what's going on right now, you have the player Tristan Thompson. I forgot what team he plays on, but that doesn't really matter at this particular moment. But you have Tristan Thompson, and he has how do I say this? He has a baby with a daughter with Khloe Kardashian. The daughter's name is True, and they were a couple, not a married couple, but they were a couple. And prior to him getting with Khloe Kardashian, he had a baby with someone else, and now he's being, I guess I don't know if the word is sued by another woman claiming to have had his child, and she wants child support, a paternity test, and she wants some answers from him. So that kind of squeezes us. We don't have to talk about them in particular, but it kind of squeezes us into the topic of, how do you deal with rejection?
Hmm. Uh, there's so many different angles on this one because um, when someone pulls the rug from under you, literally, and you're into them and you're in love with them, you immediately start to uh, fight for what you want, I guess, or try to prevent them from leaving. Like, why? What's going on? It is. Um, and and in some aspects, like something Steve Harvey said one time, the breakup could be the blessing. You don't know what God has. Maybe He has someone better for you in the future. But a lot of times, there's so many dynamics to it because you're trying to figure it out, especially when someone blindsides you. You're trying to figure it out. You're trying to navigate through it, and you're trying to say, okay, what happened? Hold on. There's somebody in your head. There's somebody in your ear. There's somebody whispering. You know what I mean? Is this you? How long you felt this way? You feel like you were used. Was I used? You know what I mean? Was this a situation like a financial situation, like you living with somebody and you're paying half the bills and this person's using you because they can pay off bills and get their credit up. Now they got their money right, they can be out. You know what I mean? You feel so many dynamics to it. I think it just comes down to how do you heal from it, I guess. How do you deal with it? It's easy to say let them go. Our favorite quote from TD Jakes, let them walk. Um, but in that moment, in that time, it's crazy because you're going through so much emotions. You're in love with this person. You could be planning things, planning a birthday, planning a trip, a vacation, and then all of this happens, and you're like, okay, what just happened? What are we doing? And so it's a lot of dynamics to it. How to deal with it is you can't hold on to somebody who don't want to be held on to.
Yeah.
If they want to be gone, then be gone. That's how I look at it. You want to be gone, be gone. I may not like it, they may not like it, or whatever. But if that person wants to be gone, then be gone. And then you start the healing process faster, as opposed to racking your brain out and trying to figure out what's wrong with you. Or what did you do wrong? Because a lot of times it's the first thing you do. Okay, what did I say? What happened? Everything was going well, and then he or she did this, then the third. And hey, Sassy, and so many people have different and so many ways of dealing with it. It's so many different aspects, but I just think you gotta stop for a second, breathe, get your thoughts, your emotions, pick up your feelings. My girl Jasmine Sullivan said, pick up your feelings and assess the situation, and then move on. That's basically what you can do. That's all you can do.
Yeah. I'm having feedback on my side, Kevin. I don't know why. And I don't even know what to do about it. I hear it every now and then, but I'll go ahead and continue to speak. But I do agree with you, right? So it's a tough situation to be in because you do want answers, and there's different times in the relationship that maybe you have questions. Okay, when someone says like, "Oh, it's over," or "I don't love you anymore," and you're not on the same page as they are, you like, okay, well, wait a minute. When did this happen? What did I do? What's going on? Can we work it out? But you can never control another person, and you definitely can't control their feelings. So it's like you just have to rise up and say, okay, I got to deal with what is happening now, regardless of whether or not I'm going to get the answer from this person about what's going on in the relationship, right? Because if you ask them a question and they don't want to tell you, what are you going to do? And you cannot beg or try to fix something that both parties are not in agreement to fix. It takes two. It literally takes two. So if you're with someone and they don't want to continue with it, it's pretty much nothing you can do a thing. You have to just say to yourself, okay, it's over. And it just brings me, I think with females, I can only speak for from the female perspective, right? I think with females sometimes we think that we're going to fix our partner, okay? And I bring that up to say with this Khloe Kardashian, like how many more signs do you want or do you need to understand that this man is not the man for you? If you want fidelity, if you want honesty, if you want to be in a relationship with someone who just wants to be in a relationship with you, he has shown you time and time again that that's not what he's doing. That's not what he wants. And he what was I gonna say? She kind of it is like she doesn't want to believe the reality of it all. And I think that happens in real relationships sometimes. People just don't want to face the truth. I don't know if
People
people
like
are afraid of
messiness.
being alone. Go
Some
ahead.
people like messiness. Some people like the mess. Some people like the guy you can't fix. The person who running around. For some reason, it becomes attractive to them. Like sometimes I think I hear women say like, "Oh, every guy cheated on me." You found every guy to cheat on you. And, sometimes you want a guy who don't act. I believe sometimes people want a man who don't act right. You always end up with this dude who don't act right. I'm not saying every woman. I'm just saying sometimes you see people. And I remember reading an article on Left Eye when she was dealing with Andre Rison. She said when he was running out and doing all this nonsense and stuff like that, and she said the minute he started to act right, he was no longer attracted to her. She was no longer attracted to him. So the minute he started to act right, come home at night, not hit the club, not do around, run around with the women, he was no longer attracted to her. She said,
That
kissing him, and some people, for whatever reason, likes the messiness. But my thing is that what we tend to do is look for closure, and you're not always going to get it, and that's okay. It don't have to be closure. I saw this meme. I was saying that word wrong. I think it was on. It was like a cartoon. It was on. Hold on, I got some on my screen. It was on Twitter, and in the cartoon, it was a woman who was with a man, and he she let him back in her life or whatever. He let her back in his life, and in the cartoon, it shows that he started acting up again. And then she's praying to God and she's saying, God, I don't understand why this man won't act right. And a voice from heaven came down and said, I took him out your life the first time. You the one that let him back in. And so a lot of times the breakup don't have to go the way you want it to go for it to be a blessing. A lot of times you want it to happen the way you want it to happen. Oh, I broke up with him or I broke up with her and I had my ducks in a row and I moved out and got me an apartment, whatever. It'll happen in a situation where you have to look around and you're scrounging and you're trying to find a lot going on. And in that aspect, I feel there's a lesson being learned. But, when you look back, how many years or months later, you might say, you know what? I'm glad this person's out of my life. I'm glad this person's gone. It doesn't always happen the way you want it to happen. You know what I mean? It doesn't always happen the way you want it to happen. So when you're looking for closure to why you left or why you this, what makes you think that person's going to really tell you the truth? What makes you think that person's going to really come and sit down and say, the real reason I left is because of X, Y, Z? You know what I mean? A lot of times they're not. They're going to lie.
so sad to say, I don't answer any questions when someone broke up with me because apparently the relationship isn't meant to be anymore. And see, that's good. There's some people that are strong enough that they're like, okay, it's over. I'm good. I'm done. It's over. And there's other people that need that closure. So you have to know yourself and what type of person you are. But in knowing yourself too, you have to understand that you cannot shape or beat an answer out of someone. You got to learn to accept and respect a process and know that you know what? You can ask the person, but be prepared for the answer. But not only that, be prepared if they don't answer.
But who says that the answer is going to make you feel better?
It doesn't, but everything, but you can still ask if that's who you are.
No, what
If
I'm
that's who
saying is the
you are
closure
and you
part.
want to
Like
ask, go
to
ahead.
me, to me, closure is within yourself. Closure is with you accepting the situation. Because you can sit there and someone can say, okay, this is why I left you. But if you don't accept it, you're going to constantly keep going back or constantly keep chasing that person down. Well, I don't accept that. I don't accept the fact that you thought I was this, 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 this. There are guys who go out there and cheat on women, get caught, she leave, then chase them down. I'm like, you cheated. And chase them down, chase them down, chase them down, get them back, then cheat again. You know what I mean? So what closure do you need? Bruh, she left because you were a cheater. That's why she left. Not once, not twice, three, four times, whatever you did it. But that's why she left. What closure do you need? You know what I mean? So when people leave, sometimes, or they may say, I found somebody else. Do you really want to hear somebody say, oh, you know what? Um, his penis was bigger than yours. He was better in bed. Do you really want to hear that? That's gonna really make you feel better? You know what I mean? Or he got more money than you or whatever. That's gonna make you feel better? Closure is within yourself where you can say, okay, It is what it is. Self heal and move on. That's how I look at closure. Because they're not going to tell you. They're not going to say nothing. There's nothing going to come out of their mouth that's going to make you feel better. There's nothing that they're going to say that's going to justify their actions in your eyes. There's nothing they're going to say that's going to justify their actions in your eyes.
Thank you, T. Like you said, it doesn't have to make you feel better, but it is sometimes it helps so you can move on. And that's what I like that. I'm glad you mentioned that and said that, right? So healing is different for everyone. So maybe your healing comes in, okay, they answered it, they said what they said, all right. Either way, the end result is probably you're both going to go your separate ways, but sometimes you literally need to hear, like, what happened? Like, what did I do? What was the situation? And sometimes maybe it's a legit response that you can take and say, you know what? In my next relationship, I'm going to be mindful not to do XYZ. So everything is not all bad. Maybe it is something that you did that, maybe you want to change or correct. Or maybe it's just you and you're like, okay, I just got to find somebody who's in agreement with the way that I am and who can accept me as I am. But maybe, like you said, you had a couple people in past relationships say to you that you were selfish. So you adjusted yourself accordingly. If they would have never said that to you, you would have never made any adjustments. And then you would have went to previous next relationships being the same way. So it helped you to hear some information about what was the demise of this relationship. And like I said, it doesn't all have to be so negative. Maybe it's like, you know what? You just work too much and I couldn't, and the person couldn't take it. And then maybe the next relationship you get in, you say, you know what, I do need to work, but I'm going to be mindful, then maybe not work as much or maybe adjust my schedule so that I can, be and spend more time with the person. Sassy, thank you so much, sweetie. I really appreciate it. To me, closure is when the person leaves regardless why they don't want to be with you. Most men and women overlook the red flags. Well, let's talk about the red flags. And thank you so much for the supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. So that's that. And see, when we talk about red flags, Khloe Kardashian has gotten like 1,000 red flags about Tristan, right? So it doesn't mean we don't have to go down this path of, oh, he's such a bad person, this, that, the other. It's really a path of understanding to say, when someone's showing you some signs and you ignore them, at some point, you got to accept responsibility for the shenanigans that you have participated in and got yourself into, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're dealing with somebody and y'all live together, right? And so every night they're leaving the house at 10 o'clock and, they're constantly making excuses as to why they're leaving. At some point, you got to say to yourself, something ain't right. There's a sign. You understand what I mean? So, and I just used a generic example, but sometimes we do see red flags and we ignore them. Now, sometimes it could be just a one-off, so nobody's perfect. So, but even when somebody has something that's a one-off, you got to kind of stick it in your back pocket and see, okay, do I see a trend here? Is this constantly them? Is this who they are? But what are your thoughts on the red flags that we seem to ignore?
Um, Ask yourself, why do you ignore it? Or you ignore it because you're so caught up into the happiness of love because you want somebody, because you're lonely. Sometimes for the red flag, like I said, you could be in love and you just in la la land, you just can't see it. Sometimes we just don't want to be lonely. Sometimes, I don't want to be alone. Um, I don't want to be by myself. So you deal with the shenanigans. Some people just want a warm body in their bed at night. You know what I mean? So some people will deal with the nonsense to say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna put up with this to get to that. I'm gonna put up with this to get to that. And so they will deal with their nonsense, put up their shenanigans. You just saw the Serena movie, that was about the
King Richard.
father, yeah, King Richard, how he moved in with a woman or married a woman with 3 kids, but only took care of the two he had. She
Hold
dealt.
on,
She did.
hold on, Cass. Sassy wanna talk to us. Was she coming in?
Don't hear nothing.
Oh, audio only. Go ahead, Sassy. You can
Uh,
talk.
oh, I didn't know it was audio only. Um, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, um, no, I was going to let him finish and then I'll say what I have to say.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Hey, hey.
Hey.
Hello.
You can talk. You can talk. Go ahead.
Oh no, but I wanted to wanted
Kev.
Cass to finish first what he was saying.
Okay. Go ahead, Kev. Finish what you were saying.
Okay, when I was talking about the King Richard movie, he married a woman who had 3 kids, but only took care of the two he had with her. She was willing to deal with that. Some people are willing to, other people will put up, you gotta love all my kids the same. So people are willing to deal with things in life to keep that mate. Uh, and that's what happened. So a lot of times people put up with things. So when you see the red flags, it's not the fact people don't see them. Some people choose to ignore. Sometimes you don't see them, and then until afterwards when you say, "Oh, I saw that. I should have paid it." Okay, but then sometimes you see the red flag right then and there, but you choose to ignore it. You
Yeah.
choose to ignore the red flag. So it depends on what that person's feeling and how they're feeling, and self love, how you feel about just loving yourself and things like that. All that stuff matters. All that stuff matters.
Yeah. All right, Sassy girl, what's up?
I can't over Chloe because she just wants to control him. I don't think she loves him like she used to. I think she does it because she wants to control him. And I
Mm.
say that because before I got married, I dated some guys that were like that. When they would cheat on me, they didn't want to leave. And see, when I would like meet them and talk to them, I would say, look, I let them know if I wanted a relationship or I just wanted to be like friends. So if I said I wanted to be in a relationship, I would tell them up front. I don't care where you go. I'm not going to be ringing your phone where you are, whatever. If you're going to be out, and I'm talking about long term relationships, if you're going to be out, just give me a call so I don't worry. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so um, when I found out they cheated, I said, you got to go. And a few of them was like, well, no, we can work it out. We can work it out. I won't cheat again. And it's like, no, because even if you say you're not going to cheat again and you don't cheat again, one, I'm not going to trust you. And two, now you're trying to control me because you're not taking what I'm saying when I first told you that would be the breaker for us, you
Right.
know? And so that's what I think Chloe is doing. He wants to leave. She should just let him go, but she wants to control him. And he's going to keep doing what he's doing. And some women just can't be by themselves. They have to have a man, so they'll put up with anything and everything just to say, I got somebody with. And
Yeah.
there's other women too, and other men who like being in toxic relationships. They don't know how to be any other way but toxic with each other, and they like it. And I can't do that. I need my peace of mind. I can't be in any toxic relationships, and I definitely can't be in a relationship with you cheating on me. And as for the red flags, like Kat was saying, sometimes we don't see the red flags until it's too late. You know
Right.
what I mean? And then like you said, dang, that was a red flag. And I just basically ignored it. And God is pushing it in your face. And like he said before, he moved you out of that relationship from that cartoon you were saying, but you brought them back in. And now you're mad at God because you brought them back in and they're doing the same thing. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you because God removed my first husband out of my life. I wanted to be married so bad. I prayed, oh, I want to be married. I want to be married. I want to be married. And he's telling me the one I have for you is not ready. You got to work on yourself, get yourself together while I'm working on him. But no, I want to be married. So I got married a month after meeting him. Our marriage lasted for 8 months. And there
Wow.
were so many red flags in that relationship. And it wasn't until he went to Korea, it was like, finally, I can break it off with you because you're over there, I'm over here, and that's it. Because he tried to get me and my kids to move to Indiana with him. And I said, no, I'm not moving to Indiana with you. That's your home turf. Now you got me on your home turf. I don't know nothing about Indiana. You know what I mean? You can
Mm-hmm.
leave me in the house for days and not come home. I'm stuck in the house with the kids. I don't know nothing about Indiana. So it's just like you guys were saying, you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself and know your self worth. And is trials and what's that word? Trials and tribulations.
Tribulations.
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it's so true. We want what we want when we want it. But we definitely need to wait on God and we gotta say our prayers
yes,
because we will suffer the consequences, so to speak, for lack of a better word, if we don't
and
wait
I
on
did,
God. If we do
and
our
I
own
did.
timing, we got free will. So if you want to take
Yeah,
your free will and utilize it, that's your business. But you are
yeah,
going to suffer the consequences. You have to pay attention to the red flags. And Kev, you made a good point. God removes some you if you get yourself in trouble and you pray, God's going to help you. But if he removes the person and you keep calling them back, again, that's going to be on you.
yeah.
That's going to be on you. Did you
And
want to say
believe me,
something,
I
I, you don't want somebody to tell you twice they don't want you.
Kev?
oh, there you go. One time is enough.
You don't want somebody
One
to tell you
time is
twice they don't
enough.
want you. I mean, that's how I look at that. You know, it's like it's a simple. Do you want to be with me? Yes or no. Now you say yes. Now let me see the actions.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But it's not going to be yes today, no tomorrow, yes next week, no 2 6 months from now. You're not doing that. You know, let me deal with the hurt and the pain now, get over it, and move on. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. Missing someone is part of the healing.
yeah,
Missing someone is part of the healing process. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you wholeheartedly. Okay, and it's part of the healing process.
Mm-hmm.
But and I'm not saying people can't get back together. I've seen it, but you got to correct that wrong. You got to really be able to put all your cards on the table, and you have to have that union and where you don't have somebody in your ear, somebody in your telling you X things, and so a lot of times when you get to that point where that person says, okay, I'm gone, and like for me, with one of my situations, you know, when I heard that TD Jakes line, when someone can walk out your life, let them walk.
mhm,
That's the realest thing that man ever said. Not saying he's the same thing, but that was like, wow. I needed to hear that. When I heard it when I needed to hear it. I didn't hear it when I was with somebody. I heard it when I needed to hear it. and so it can hit me, and I can absorb it the way it was. And so that's just how I accept things in my life. Is like, okay, if you can walk away from me in a moment's notice, I'm not going to chase you. You know what I mean? I don't chase things that don't want to get caught. That's not me. I'm not the fox chasing a rabbit. It's not me. I don't chase nothing that don't want to get caught. You know what I mean? We know what we're doing.
Right.
And so you run around and run around. That's not me. So a lot of times you sit there and you say, okay, well, okay, it kind of makes you tougher and you build that armor up, but you don't try to make it hard for the next person. You just make sure you weed out the BS before you get involved. But at the end of the day, though, you are in control of who you are. When somebody says they want to leave, there you go. A lot of times these people stop people from leaving. I heard one lady told me one time she said I should let that fool leave when he wouldn't leave the first time. But she asked him to stay. They had another baby, and now they got, you know what I mean? And so now they're dealing with the 13-year-old, and you know what I mean. Well, her other two or three kids are grown out the house, and they got a 13-year-old they got to deal with. She said I should let that fool leave me when you know what I mean. I should let him leave me when he left me. So that's just sometimes you got to sit there and realize the things. You want to leave,
Very
peace.
true. So Tia said we pray, but we don't always listen for the answer, which is so true. Or sometimes we think we hear the answer, or we pretend we hear the answer that we wanted to hear.
No, you hear the
So
answer. You don't. You ignore the answer. You ignore the answer. That's what it is. You ignore the answer. You
No, but
ignore
when
it. It's
he,
like
I get what you ignore when God is when He's telling you no, that's not the person. We ignore it because I
you breaking up, Sassy.
take him out of my life. We didn't remain friends. Some guys that it was a mutual breakup. We remain friends to this day. It was a mutual breakup on both parts. We knew the relationship was no more, and we remained friends. Now, the other ones, I don't want to break bread, hear from you. I don't want to hear you sneeze, cough, fart, whatever. Stay away from me. But the main thing is, I notice when we get out of the relationships that we've been in, a lot of us, and I've done it a couple of times. Um, we don't allow ourselves to heal after that breakup. Um, we'll be someone like a month later and jump right back into a relationship and still haven't healed from the first one. And that goes with you said, Cash, is that you had just said it where you should have just let that person go when they wanted to go and not hold on to them. And so when we let that person go, like you said, we do hurt. It does hurt. But then you want to get into these rebound relationships thinking that's going to make up for the relationship you just got out of. And that's worse than the relationship you just got out of. So I
but
had to learn that.
I
Heal,
realize. Okay.
just allow yourself to heal because that's what I did with my this one guy I was dating before I met my husband. When we broke up, I said, okay, Lord, I'm not going to date anyone. And if you want me to be married again, you bring the one you want for me. I'm not going to
Mm.
date. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit there. Um, I was reading my Bible every day. I was just focusing and working on myself and asking him. what are my faults am I doing in the relationship? Because I don't want to put it all on the men, because men get bad raps for that too, because they're always saying, oh, well, it had to be something the man did to make the relationship go wrong. No, sometimes it's the women.
Right.
And with with that, I don't like that. Having a son, having a son, I would never want anyone to put that on him if he's not the one that actually did something wrong to cause the relationship to break up. So I've always been that person to say it's not always the man who does bad in the relationship. I've told so many of my female friends, because they always were saying, oh, it's him, oh, it's him. And sometimes I would tell him, well, is it? Did you notice how you were talking to him? You know what I mean? Your tone with him. You you were mean to him always. You didn't care, for him. And I'm not saying playing the wife in a relationship, but just as a couple in a relationship, you still want to be, intimate with that person,
Hmm.
not on a sexual, not on a S level, but just that intimate, that comfort, that knowing that that person is going to have your back and you have their back. But some of my female friends thought, well, he's the man, he's supposed to do everything. I don't have to do anything. And it's like, no, it doesn't work that way, you know.
Right. So,
So,
Sassy, what did you do different in this marriage that you before that you didn't do in your previous relationship? Like, how did you do things differently? Hi,
well,
Donnie. Hope
first,
I'm saying your name right.
uh, like I said, I prayed and asked God, if you want me to be married again, you'll bring the one in my life. And I gave him a specific list of the type of man I wanted.
Okay. You
And
got you got to be clear when you pray. You got
yep,
to be clear.
yep,
Yes, you do. Uh-huh. Okay.
specific. And I found out he did the same thing, because he wanted a ready-made family. He wanted someone that had teenagers already, because he said he wasn't good with small kids. He's like, I'll do with the grandkids. When the grandkids come, okay. So that's what I did. I prayed, and I just let God. I just waited on God. And in this relationship, when we met each other at work, the minute when I went in to apply, because he was already working there. This was before he joined the Navy. We both worked in a medical profession. And when we locked eyes, we didn't even know. But in my head, I'm saying, that's my husband. And he said, that's my wife. So when we started dating and we told each other that, we were taken aback, because we were like, well, because we prayed and we waited for God. So
Mm.
that's the difference I did with the other relationships. The other relationships, I wasn't praying on it. I was just doing me, thinking it's gonna work out, And so that's what I did different. I prayed and waited for the
Nice.
right answer, and not let the flesh answer for me. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I
Like
do.
like you said, like you said, we don't hear the answer when he says no, that's not the one, and we just go into it anyways, and then
Hmm.
we're upset. So
I love it. That's a great
yeah.
story. You do have to be specific in your prayers. They say,
Mm-hmm.
be careful what you ask for. You got to give details, and you did the right thing. I love that story. Kev, you want to add anything, say anything in reference to that?
No, I was gonna say, when we talk about letting go of the person,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
it's also letting go of your feelings.
Oh
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's not just about you can't stop how you feel, but when I say let go of that person, you let go of the feelings. You have to let go of it, let go of what happened, let go of we're trying to figure out what happened, let go of the anger, let go of the animosity. This is the baggage you take into other relationships. You have to
Hmm.
let that go. So when you say when he says, CJ said, let them walk, you gotta let everything walk. It's not
Yeah.
just the physical, it's the emotional and the
Yeah,
mental
they
side of it. You can't sit here and dwell like, hold up. And what really you gotta let that go. You have to let it all go. You have to let it. It's like flushing out your body. It's like you have to drink a bottle of water, drink you have, clean out your feelings. You gotta drink a bottle or whatever, clean aid or whatever, and you gotta flush out your feelings and flush out everything out, and then go like this. Okay, yeah, you still may have feelings for them because it does. It's not like a light switch. You can't turn it off and on. But you have to let that go and say, okay, you know what? This is what happened. This wasn't for me. I need to move on. And however long it takes you to flush out those feelings, for some people it's longer than others. But what you're not going to do is find it with someone else. You have to completely let that go. You know, people crave affection, loneliness. A lot of those things can get you in trouble. You
Hmm.
end up in the wrong situation in the wrong time. You end up in the wrong bedroom, end up in the wrong house on the wrong date. You know, sometimes it could be someone who's been chasing you around and you're lonely and I got tickets to a concert and I love Mary J. Blige and you know and that so sometimes you got to take the time to say no, I'm not ready yet, and go about it that way.
Yeah, I do agree with you. A
so
lot of factors play into the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Loneliness can get you in a whole bunch of trouble that you can't get yourself out of, or you had trouble getting yourself out of. Rebound relationships is not always good. You do need time to kind of give yourself a moment to say, okay, let me try to release some of the feelings I have for this person before I get into a situation with another person. But then sometimes people kind of prey on you when they know, they've been waiting in the corner the whole time, but you didn't know that, right? And so the minute they hear you broke up with your significant other, they in your ear, they in your inbox, and you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable, and you may fall victim to it because they'll say something real simple and easy like, "Oh no, I'm not. This is just friends. I just want to talk. Let's just hang out." And before you know it, you up in this vicious cycle, and you don't know how you got there because you were so vulnerable when the person came to you. So you just got to be mindful of all the situations and the things because literally somebody can hear like, "Oh, you broke up," and they on it. They on it because they've been waiting for you. Not that they was waiting for the demise of your relationship, but they ain't mad at the demise because they wanted you, and so now they shooting their shot.
Yeah,
And
it happens all the time. It happens all
yeah,
the time.
they
It
shooting
happens
their
all the
shot,
time.
and you gotta be careful.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be careful. But I think also when it comes to relationships and then when it comes to people, when it comes to trying to process your feelings, um, sometimes you don't know what time frame you need, but I think you do need to give yourself some time. And then at some point, you got to get yourself back out there. So there's some
yeah,
people I know they go to it's like two extremes. There's some people who jump back in too quickly, and there's other people that they just drag it out too long. They're so afraid. Um,
yeah.
VOYFYI. I don't know what that means, Cecilia. What does that mean? Does anybody know?
Above
I don't know
my
what
knowledge.
VOI
Yeah, I don't know
is
what it
for your
means.
information, but I don't know what the VOI is.
The VOY. I don't know what the VOY is. Yeah. But so you have to kind of you gotta kind of balance it out. And you also have to, know when to say, okay, this is not what I want. So let me stop it right here. Be brave enough. I don't like when people ghost people. I prefer that you just
Yeah,
say, you know what, this wasn't for me. I want to stop. You understand? But
Mm-hmm.
then at the same time, if you try to break it off and stop with the person and they want to continue on, then at that point you got to be like, I got to just let this go. But
Mm-hmm.
I think
mm-hmm.
you should be brave enough to tell someone and don't do them dirty when it's over. When you're not feeling something, Be brave enough to kind of tell a person, but don't ghost them. Do not, it's just not right. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Everyone has that, but this the thing is, it's not going to happen the way you want it to. Sometimes ghosting them it may not be right. You may not feel right the way you do it, and I don't suggest it. But sometimes, you know what? Okay, you don't respond to me, I don't respond to you. Move on. You know, you just take. I take it for what is. I take it for how I get it. You know what I mean? I take it how I get it. Hey, if you want to slide off and not say nothing or whatever, if you're gonna make me the bad person, I take it how I get it. I'm gonna be all right. I don't let that. I don't let that get to me. You know, no one's gonna break up with you the right way.
Well, I agree with you, but I think you can.
You can, but no one's gonna really follow that game plan. No one's gonna really follow that game plan. You can watch all the Oprahs and the Dr. Phil's and this is the right way to do it. And how many people broke up with somebody the right way? People not no story, no people you know. You know who sat down, maybe 1 out of 100, where somebody sits down, they sat down amicable and said, okay, it's not working out, this, that, and the third, but this is what I'm going to do for you and make sure you good, this, and that. Who's going to do that? Who's really going to do that? So no one's really, a lot of times when people are telling you they're already gone. Mentally, they're already gone. There's no way of getting them back. They didn't just come wake up one morning and say we're breaking up. They just chose to tell you now. But they've been gone. So you chasing what? It's been 3 weeks, a month. It's been 3 months. It's been 6 months. They've been gone for a year. Y'all just been in the same bed. They've just been in the same house. But they've been gone for a whole entire year. They already applied it and planned what they was going to do. Now, whether they regret it or not, that's on them. And so when you sitting there like, what is the right way? Who's going to do it the right way? Not too many people's going to do it the right way, or do it the way that people might consider to be when you consider somebody else's feelings. No, it's not that way. People are out to get theirs. Mama said it best. People going to be people. That's what they do, and that's what they're going to do.
Sassy,
So,
Sassy, was you gonna say?
I think she froze.
She froze. Okay. So
Can you repeat that? I'm a log off. Can you repeat what you just said? Because I couldn't hear you because it was breaking up. I'm a log off so I can hear what you just
okay, no
said
problem.
about
Yep, sure.
people leaving. Yeah, I want to hear what Chad had to say about that. Let me
Okay.
leave.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
All right. So she was saying that she wanted you to repeat pretty much what you said because she couldn't hear. I think because like you said, she was kind of freezing up. But I'll summarize it. You pretty much is saying that people are going to be people, right? And normally by the time they tell their significant other that it's over, they mentally was already gone maybe for months, weeks, or a whole year. And I think that is true, right? But I think also too, there's this song. What is that song like? I can't remember the name of the song right now, but pretty much she said, I could tell you don't love me the same. I think it's I'm not your superwoman. And part of the words in that song is she said, you don't love me the same. Like I think when you're in a relationship and people are kind of not treating you the same and you're not feeling the same way, you start to sense it. But I think what people do, if they're not quite ready to let you go, they play mind games with you and be like, nah, that's all in your head. That's not true. I still love you. So they may be, some of them or have a plan that they're planning. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like they're planning
Some
their
are Oscar
exit.
winners. Some are Oscar winners. They can act. They can act the part. Some are Oscar winners. Like, yo, damn, shorty. Like you need to get an Oscar. You played the whole plot. Like everything was good. And
Yes, here we
so
go again.
and
Yes.
so, Hey, how you doing? So, people sit there, they play the whole part. Some people, they sit there and like, yo, you sure you wasn't in a Spike Lee movie? Because you can act your behind off, because you act like you was in this. And then all of a sudden they pull up out the blue and like, yo, I'm out. I'm deuces. And it's like, okay, what just happened? So, I mean, there are times you can tell when you know someone and you're around someone, and some people can play it off, but a lot of times when they come up, when they bring it to you, they already done thought about it. It didn't just happen last night. It was something that they were thinking about.
Yeah, Tia is right. When a person breaks up with you, they already process everything they were feeling. The other person process begins once it's actually said, and that is so true. That is so true. They already went through all of their feelings. They already decided, you know what, can I live without this person? Am I going to be okay? And you hearing it for the first time, you're like, oh my God, that's the day your process begins. And you can't even function. You can't even fathom it. That is so true. Hey, here we go again. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Relationship Wednesdays. We haven't, been here for a couple of weeks, but we're back. We're back. So we hope you're enjoying the conversation. But it's it's a difficult thing to go through, but I think that people really literally need to learn how to do it better, right? There is a better way. Treat someone how you want to be treated. So just like you would want to know, tell the person so that they know. Don't sneak out on them. There's people that, like you said, you're living together and they plotting and planning their exit, and you like, oh my God, there is this there is this video. I think the woman was on the Tamara Hall show too. Her actual husband, she went on a trip. When she got back, and she went on a trip with, I want to say, his sister. When she got back from the trip, her whole apartment was empty. Like he left. He divorced her. And the sister act like she didn't know what was happening. I truly think that him and his sister was in cahoots. He told the sister, go on vacation with my wife, and while you're gone, I'm gonna empty out this house. I think that's just such a coward way to do things. And to me, no piece of furniture can be that important that I would do someone that dirty that I would plot to leave them, and not only plot to leave them, but literally empty out the house while they're gone. That's just crazy. Yeah, Donnie said she saw that. Like, it was so sad. I couldn't even believe that he did that. I was just like, who does that? Who could do this to? And to a person that you slept in the bed with every night, to a person you marry, and to someone you claim you love. Like, how do you do that? Um,
That's a long way out. They don't have to face you.
right,
Because the thing is, I don't want to. Okay, I don't want to tell you we're breaking up because I don't want to deal with the fact that you're gonna want me back and you're gonna be baby, please, baby, please, baby, please. I don't want to deal with that, so I'm gonna do the punk way out. I'm not gonna deal. I don't want to see the emotions. I don't want to see the crying and the hooting and hollering. What I'm gonna do is, or see you get angry. I'm gonna slide off and do it the punk way out. And so that's what guys, because there are people who will sit there and say you can have everything and walk it out the door. There are people who will be like, yeah, you can have it all. I don't want nothing. You keep it all. And so
right.
it depends on what's going on. So like the person who's breaking up always has a head start.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Savvy says it's like they already checked out in their mind, but they don't know how to let the other person know. So true. So true, right? They already checked out in their mind and they don't know how to let the other person know. Some people have a whole conversation with themselves and answer themselves like they had a conversation with their significant other and decide what they're going to do without any input. Yes, all of these things are true. All of these things are true. It's so crazy. It is so incredibly crazy how people will do this process. And my thing is, if you once loved a person, even if you fell out of love with them now, when you're thinking about breaking up with them, try to remember what brought y'all together and at least give them the smidgen of respect and say, you know what, I'm done, I'm out. And don't leave that person in a jam. Like, I just could never do that. Like, don't leave
But
that person in a jam.
I will say this: karma is a bitch with many skirt and high heels. People do things; it will come back and bite you in the behind.
It does.
You think you got away with it, and you don't. Okay, and so that's how I look at it. You do things the wrong way. Good doesn't come from that. It doesn't. You do things, you don't lead people right, and then you find yourself in a messier situation. And I've seen people in situations, and I'm sitting there like, look what you did. You complaining about this, but you forgot what you did. You forgot what you did. You know what I mean? You forgot what you did. I seen a dude who did that. He packed up and moved and was bragging about it at work and ended up with another woman, and he ended up in a whole bunch of situations with that woman. And I said, you ever stop and think it's karma for what you did to the other girl? Nah, nah, nah. Okay, you don't believe it. You don't have to believe it, but I'm seeing it. You left in the middle of the night, or when this lady was at work, you packed up all your stuff and left. She was all into you, was up there with the kids, left, boom, boom, boom. And then you got with you got with one that had you messed up at work, then got with another one that had you messed up. I'm saying ain't nothing but karma. That's all I said. He didn't want to believe it. Oh, no, it ain't karma. You can't get nothing right now. Ever since you and that girl broke up, you can't get nothing right. About to lose your job, did this, that, and the third, which you ended up losing. But the point is, you couldn't get nothing right. So this is the way. Karma is undefeated. Oh, she is undefeated. You can. So that's always been my thing. Karma is
Right.
undefeated. You do things to people, things will come back to you. That's why I always try to be fair, or always try to be respectful towards people and things like that, because karma will come back and bite you. And it ain't gonna bite you the way you think it's gonna bite you. Out your behind. You say, oh, it's gonna get a little nibble. Now you think it's gonna bite you. When it bites you, you think the nibble, then you turn around, you look up and like, this person that moved on with their life or whatever, and you feeling some kind of way. You wonder why you can't catch a man. Or you wonder why you can't catch a woman. Because look at your messing, look at your trash behind you. Look at the trash you left behind you. Look at all the messy stuff you've done. Now you expect to walk up into a clean house or a clean street, and that trash is not going to follow you. The wind blows. You turn around, that trash be right behind you again. So
Yeah.
that's what happens. You find yourself in a trashy situation with just another person.
Oh, here we go. You said I was out. You can have everything. I got me. Yeah. Yeah. It is one thing if you leave and you leave everything behind. It's another thing if you leave and you sneaky and you take everything with you. It's like how could you do that? Or you put someone out and they have nothing. And it's like, how do you do that to someone that you once looked in their face, shared everything with them, told them you loved them? I just, that piece I really have so much trouble comprehending. And I think that's what leaves people in their mind like wondering, like, well, dang, did this person ever really love me? How can you do that to somebody that you claim that you actually truly love? I don't know. But I think it goes back to what everybody was saying, how by the time the person tells you, they've been checked out. They was just trying to find a way to tell you, and that's if they told you. But like you said, with that other guy, the one who ended up, just emptying out the house. I mean, he took everything while his wife was on vacation. It was like you said, he just didn't want to face her.
Mm-hmm.
So you do something crazy like that. I mean, leave the person a note or something. I don't know. It's just crazy.
Hey, look, I knew a woman put this dude out. He catered a party, a wedding, and the person who helped him out was like, oh, because he was looking for the extra, the rest of the money from the catering gig. 'Cause he was like, I'm in a bad situation, this, that, and the third, because he was catering this wedding or party, whatever he was doing. And he said, if I get in advance, because I'm in a bad situation, my wife put me out. They ended up being married. They ended up married. They ended up getting married. He's in a better situation. I don't know him, but I know her. Okay, she was bragging about putting him out, and then was upset because when her daughter went to go visit them, he got a nice house, living in a nice everything up. He upgraded. He got upgraded, and she upset. I'm like, why are you upset? You put him out, right? You don't listen to me. I'm just saying, you put him out. Karma is undefeated.
Karma's
Karma's undefeated. I keep telling y'all, Karma, she is undefeated. Y'all keep doing dirt. Dirt will come back on you. You know. So that's just
Mhm.
that. We spit out the window.
So, Kev, we're gonna kind of close out here. I mean, I think we had an amazing conversation. What would you like to be your wrap up? Uh-oh. Wait, before we wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly, Chef Kev. Karma doesn't have a menu. It serves you what you deserve. People get what they give, 100%. Yes, yes. So, Kev, close out. What's your closing thoughts on this topic?
Uh, can't make somebody be with you. So when somebody don't want you no more, you're gonna feel the hurt. You're gonna feel the pain. But Mama was right. Time heals all wounds.
Mm.
Don't go jumping off the bridge and jumping in the bottle of something and smoking something that you know we've all done some dumb stuff because you're hurt. But the pain does heal. The pain does heal. Just go through the healing process. The pain does heal.
I love that. So thank you for saying that. I do agree with you. Time will heal all wounds. And I also think that, try your best to stay away from a rebound relationship because then you're never going to get a chance to heal. And then you may end up hurting the person yourself and the rebound person. Because then when you wake up from the pain, you look at this rebound person like, okay, this is not what I want either. Or this is not me. Oh, good. Oh, there you go, Kev. She said, beautiful. Here we go. Then said, beautiful. It's true, right? So, yeah. So, you got to give yourself a moment to heal. You definitely got to let it go. But here's the thing. I think where we get into a trap a lot of times is that when they call you, when they text you, do not, and I mean do not answer that call or that text. You can't because when you answer it, it gets you right back up in the vicious cycle because when you immediately split up with someone you're still hurt and you're confused, especially if you didn't get your own personal closure from it. So then they text you and you can sometimes get sucked right back in, and that's why it's better, no matter how hard it hurts, you got to tell yourself, don't answer that text, don't answer that call. If you gotta block them, but you got to let it go. There we go. Thank you, Kev, for giving us this from a man's perspective. We rarely get to hear your side. All right, Kev, look at you. Look at you spitting wisdom tonight.
I do
You
it
know
all
I
the
got
time.
you know
Yeah,
I gotta
listen.
mess with you. You know I gotta mess with you. But listen, thank you everyone for joining us tonight in the conversation. We appreciate all of y'all for coming through. Sassy, thank you for that chat that you gave me. The love that you gave supporting the channel. We greatly appreciate it. And guys, we are here every Wednesday night, 9:15 p.m. Join us next Wednesday when we have a conversation. Our topic is always centered around relationships, some way, shape, or form. Again, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us tonight. And we will see y'all next Wednesday. Chef Kev, as always, thank you much. Good night, everyone.
Deuces. Good
Good
night.
night.